Hello, All in the Cards family. This is Kazaya with All in the Cards, coming to do another true crime. So, excuse me, family, I just finished eating. But this true crime is on Kalisha Madden. Okay, this is off of the DOE network, which is about missing people, and this is a picture of what they have on here of Kalisha. Kalisha was from Detroit, Michigan, and they said she came up missing after leaving from where she worked at an entertainment club as a dancer with 3 men, is what the story says. It says she was last seen on November 28th, 2011. So she's been missing a very long time, family. The name of the place was the Sting Gentlemen's Club, where she was employed as a dancer, and she was observed getting into a dark truck SUV with 3 black males. One of the males was using crutches and possibly named Benny. That's what it says on here. So this is written online, okay? Since 2011. This has been out since 2011. So I did pull her information, like I said, off of this network once somebody asked me to do it on the website. And I meditated over her. So one thing I did do was meditate over her. I did see in her meditation that this was done by a male. And I don't know if this male is connected to her in some way through a baby father or something of that sort. But or this male is actually a father. Not sure how that goes or connects to the situation, but I'm just burning some sage. But I did see that in when I was meditating over her, the ancestors brought that through. But she definitely was taken out by a male. Now, I always like to turn to the truth in the words to let the divination of the cards show us exactly maybe what has happened in the situation. But do remember that everything that comes out of this reading and what I say is all allegedly and it's for entertainment purposes only. It's non-factual. I have to say that for YouTube purposes, family, okay? So this is just an energy spiritual reading that I'm doing. So you know, when we do spiritual energy readings, they are metaphysical readings that are not proven until proven. All right. So let's get into the divination of the cards and ask Kalisha Marquita Madden to come in. But as I stated, from what I've seen, it didn't look great. It looked like, you know, somebody had did her harm in reference of her no longer being here on this planet. But you know, we still are praying, we still hopeful that this isn't, you know, what's happened. But that's what the ancestors showed me in meditation, okay? Before I even pulled any cards or even came on to do the video, I meditated over her energy, all right? Okay, so let's get into it. Let's call in Kalisha Marquita Madden. When you come into the energy, I may even do a small spirit box. Let's see what the spirit box allows us to hear, family. Y'all been liking me to do that lately, so I will pull in the spirit box and see. Let's pause this, turn this down, and let's see if she could speak to us through the spirit box, okay? Kalisha Madden, we're coming to you with love to get some answers. Kalisha, are you there? Kalisha Madden. Yes. How are you? We are coming to you for some questions. Want to know what happened to you? Kalisha, can you tell us what happened? They say you're missing. What happened to you when you got in that truck, Kalisha? Kalisha, can you tell us who you were with? Kalisha, can you tell us who you were with? Who did something to you? Kalisha Madden. Use the spirit box to tell us what happened. What can you tell us? Anything you want us to know? Anything you want us to know? Are you still here on this planet? Kalisha? Are you still here on this planet? Well, we'll have to listen back. We just wanted to see if you would come through and tell us something, Kalisha. Now we're going to turn to the cards. We want you to show us some messages through the cards, okay? We're sending you love. All right, bye. So, as I said, bye. All right. So, not too much I can hear through that spirit box, but you never know. When I go back and listen to it, it always is something that stands out, right? And then you guys let me know what you heard too. So, let's get to the cards. Let's call in her energy. Kalisha Madden. And sisters, show us what happened to Kalisha Madden. Kalisha, come through and tell your story of what happened to you, of when you went missing on November 28th, 2011. What happened to you on November 28th? November 28th, 2011. What happened to you, Kalisha? Show us in the cards, honey. What happened, Kalisha? Kalisha Madden. What happened to you? Kalisha Madden. What happened to you, Kalisha? Show us in the cards. Kalisha Madden. What happened to you? Kalisha Madden. Drowned. Somebody was drowning in their emotions, okay? Although that drown could actually mean somebody has drowned, but it also is a very emotional card. So it lets me know somebody's emotions was wrapped to this situation or wrapped around this situation in some shape, form, or fashion. And it looks like somebody's emotion was connected to this situation because the first card out was about revenge, okay? So we have revenge here as the first message out. And then beside revenge, we have somebody was triggered and was wanting to be revengeful. It looks like there was a history of something happening in reference of this person wanting to get revenge, or a history of something happening because somebody was watching, okay? It looks like somebody's wife, okay, is showing up here, okay, in reference of some type of revenge and a lesson. So this wife and a lesson, some lessons to be learned based off of somebody being triggered. But there's a history of someone watching her in this situation that could have happened, okay? What it looks like here is like somebody's wife may have not liked that somebody was, you know, maybe at that club or something like that, and there's some type of revenge that's here, is what it's looking like, okay? It looks like somebody's wife wanted Kalisha maybe to learn some lessons, and they've been watching, and they may have got triggered and what triggered them was some type of revenge they wanted to do. So let's get clarity. There could have been some type of history with her and this person, not sure. Let's clarify. Okay, I got medicine to fly out. We'll leave it there. Medicine flew out. Clarity. So somebody needed some healing. Somebody needed, either may have been taking some medicine, something in reference of medicine is involved. Okay, let's clarify this spread that's here. Okay, in reference of what Kalisha and the ancestors want us to know. Okay, cards are flying out. Coven. Okay, that's my card of darkness sent. Okay, somebody's intentionally do something to you that's dark. And also this could be in reference of someone's wife could have been, not laughing, but I'm just saying this is definitely a card that lets me know that somebody is among some type of witches and warlocks. Dark magic was used in some shape, form, or fashion. Clarity on the spread, ancestors, of what's going on with Kalisha Madden. Clarity on what's happening in reference of Kalisha Madden. Kalisha Madden. What happened to Kalisha Madden? Show me in the cards the messages, the clarity in the messages, please. Clarity in messages. Clarity in messages for Kalisha Madden. Yeah, hustler on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this was somebody, or she was someone that was going after money by any means necessary, family. That's what the hustler card is showing in this deck. I'm gonna set this to the side and we'll clarify the coven and the medicine in a few, but for right now we see that the hustler is on the bottom of the deck. And that also goes for Kalisha, as well as, excuse me, Kelly, as well as who she was dealing with. Okay, so she could have been dealing with a hustler. All right, in this scenario of things, this is somebody in close proximity to her that wanted to get some type of revenge. Okay, a neighbor, an actual neighbor, or somebody who was in the vicinity, somebody who's close to her. Okay, she had conflict with this person that was trying to get revenge. All right. It looks like this could have been, well, the somebody in close proximity to her is connected to this, whoever this wife is that had the conflict with her. Okay, because wife and neighbor is, I'm sorry, air and neighbor is the same energy. It also could be an air sign that this wife is, which is all about Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini person or female. It looks like this person felt that she may have taken something away from her. Because look at look at how it comes out in the spread, family. Okay, watch when I put the spread together. All right, triggered. So somebody was triggered and trying to deviate away from the situation, or she was trying to deviate away from the situation in some shape, form, or fashion. Somebody was trying to deviate away from the situation. They knew maybe that there was someone who had conflict. She knew that somebody had conflict with her and wanted revenge. Okay, but she deviated. She wanted to deviate or away from that. But somebody was triggered. You see what I'm saying? By her actions, by something she was doing. Okay, then I have the grape here on the lessons. So this is about somebody having something taken away from them involuntarily. Okay, when you're graped, this could be a sexual assault. This could be actually somebody just taking something away from you violently. Whether that's, sexually, money, whatever. But somebody wanted someone to learn a lesson. Okay, within this conflict about some type of grape situation. Okay, now we have the suicide and the history. So this lets me know now what ancestors is telling me about. There's a history of her dealing with some hustler. You see, hustler and history, the same energy, right? So there's a history of her dealing with this hustler. And the things that she was doing, that she was deviating away from in reference of this person being in close proximity to her, she was causing harm to herself. I hate to say it like this, but this is what this is. I know she didn't probably do suicide, but she was deviating away from some situations, but still causing herself harm in the whole matter. okay? Because it looks like somebody may have been married, okay? That she may have had conflict with this person and who they were with. And there's history here, okay? So I don't know if the people may know about this situation that is there, but something was put into some type of situation, either put into her food or she was gave something, you know what I'm saying? She was given something, and somebody was watching, okay? Now, this also goes back to letting me know that she may have been raped, okay? Within this conflict and this revenge, okay? Because it looks like somebody may have given her something, okay? Maybe even put something in her food or gave her something, and there was some type of history of it, but somebody is watching or was watching to see what was going on or what was going to happen is what it looks like here. It looks like that history and what was given to her, or somebody was giving something to her, was this hustler, okay? And somebody was watching her being given something. Now, it doesn't mean that it had to be something put in her food or given to her that way, although it could have. But it could have been some type of money or something of that sort, because it looks like she had a history of it. And so she was causing herself that harm, maybe because it's been a history of her dealing with this person. You know what I'm saying? But all in all, whoever this person is was triggered by this history of her feeling like something was being taken from her, which caused this conflict and revenge. And she wanted some lessons were to be learned because she had been watching this go on. So that's what the ancestors is saying, just by this spread alone and the clarity in this spread alone. Look at how it comes out, family. But not only that, the energy that comes off of the Coven card, right? This is somebody bringing havoc to you because of something you've done, you see? And you needing medicine or you needing healing, okay? Or some type of care, okay, to heal you, all right? Because that medicine came out too. We'll clarify all of that. But it looks like there's definitely some things here, all right? Clarity in the neighbor and revenge. The neighbor and revenge. Give me clarity on the neighbor and revenge for Kalisha Madden. Neighbor and revenge for Kalisha Madden. What is it that you want us to know, ancestors? Kalisha Madden. Mind games, yeah. So somebody felt that she was playing mind games, and somebody felt that and she felt that somebody else was playing mind games with her, and she was drowning in her emotions about the situation as well as the other people. So this was some type of emotional relationship situation, okay? It was a lot of mind games being played against her as well as with her, okay? So that is definitely the revenge that is showing here, or why somebody wanted revenge and could have been deviating from the situation, because they were playing mind games. And the mind games was also attached to her being given something, okay? So there's a lot here in reference of the mind games and the revenge, all right? Clarity on the heir and the wife. Why is heir and wife here for Kalisha Madden? Why is heir and wife here for Kalisha Madden? Ancestors, heir and wife for Kalisha Madden. Heir and wife for Kalisha Madden. Confirmation. Ancestors said that's confirmation. She had conflict with somebody's wife, family. Yeah, and it keeps coming up, and y'all seen me shuffle the deck multiple times over and over and over, and I keep getting to drown. She might even be in some water or have been drowned, family, allegedly, all for entertainment purposes only. This is non-factual. This is just entertainment purposes only, no factual to this, okay? But we're getting confirmation from the ancestors that this was some conflict with the wife, okay? Somebody's wife, okay? Clarity, because somebody felt that somebody was playing mind games, okay? And somebody was very emotional too. Deviation and triggered. Ooh, okay, well, what's that flew out on the table? There's the hustler again. So, see, this hustler here, this male that was hustling, maybe even been a drug dealer, or a person that got money by any means necessary that she was dealing with, was connected to this wife with this conflict. You see how it flew out on that when I said deviated and triggered? Ancestors said yes. Okay, this is confirmation in reference of somebody wanting to teach her a lesson. Okay, and the hustler flew out. So I definitely know, I'm going to clarify the hustler too, but I definitely know that there's a hustler involved, and she was also hustling. Okay, triggered and deviation. Okay, triggered and deviation in reference of Kalisha Madden. What happened with Kalisha Madden ancestors with this deviation and triggered, please? Deviation and triggered. Respect. Somebody wanted respect. Yeah. So they felt like you should she was deviating away from the situation, but she triggered somebody because they felt disrespected. See, she didn't show somebody respect, and it was because of an addiction. She may have had an addiction, family, or somebody had an addiction. This addiction could have been to, anything, drugs, cars, money, even hustling. People have many addictions, family. Okay, so she may have had an addiction in reference of having to deal with this. So yeah, we got many things that are coming out about this situation. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what else we can get. Excuse me. And look at how to respect the lessons and the confirmation. So Instance said this was about respect for this wife. You see, with the confirmation and the yes on the confirmation and the respect is the same energy. And the yes confirmation came out on this wife and the conflict. See, air is all about conflict and some communication. See, so somebody communicated with this wife, or this wife communicated with her in reference of what she felt. She felt like she wanted to get revenge. She felt like she was disrespected and triggered. Okay, and like the girl may have been disrespecting her, and there may have been something she felt that was taken away from her, and she wanted some lessons to be learned. What's the rape and the lessons here for? But not only that, I feel like Kalisha also was this, okay? Allegedly, okay? Unfortunately. Why is this here, ancestors? Show us in the cards the grape and the lessons for Kalisha Madden. Clarity, ancestors. Yeah, there it is, the drugs, okay? And the powers that be on the bottom. So I definitely feel like this was somebody in an elite group, but I also feel like something may have been taken or given to her in reference of this, okay? But it definitely has something to do. Remember when it said she was gave something? So I do feel like she was given something, okay? And maybe even to do this to her, maybe like a pill or some type of prescription drugs, okay, that could have affected her in some shape, form, or fashion, okay? Because the food, maybe even, the food means to give something to someone, okay? Either by mouth or to hand them something, right? It doesn't matter which way you give somebody something, or even in their food, but it's attached to this, okay? And the watching and the lessons and the history that she has with this hustler and these illegal drugs and so forth, family, all right? Why is the suicide in the history here? Oof. Why is this suicide? Oof. Now that, family, was so much that fell on the table. Look what's on the bottom, premeditated, okay? Let me get these cards off the floor. Sorry, family, I ain't mean to hit the camera. Let me get it back right so you can continue to see the spread. But I got to get all these cards that flew off, and I'm going to show you the ones that flew out, okay? Hold on, let me get them. Let me make sure I ain't missing. Oh, yeah, one of them is right here. Okay, all right, let me show you what flew out. Let me not bump the camera. Okay, so on the bottom of the deck, you see what was here, premeditated and planned, okay? So I'm not going to take these, but I'm going to show you what flew out on the floor. So, oh, it's a lot of them, family. Okay, control, lawyer, boyfriend, faded relationship. So we do have boyfriend, faded relationship, unknown, out of the country, spring, agent, somebody was sent in to do something, tree of life, trickster, Another industry hit and deal and son. Now, did she have a child with somebody? Because I'm seeing a lot that came out there, right? Let me put them back in the deck, and we'll get to pulling to see if we can clarify the rest, family, okay? It's a lot coming out in her spread, though, I'm going to tell you that. So far, it's looking like something that may have been going on in reference of some infidelity and so forth, family. And that's why we got the suicides. Not that she did suicide, it's that she was causing harm to herself by doing some things that she may have not, should have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we cause ourselves harm. Okay? Alright, so I put them back in the deck. Shuffle it up. Suicide in history, ancestors. Kalisha Madden. Speak one card at a time. One card at a time. Okay? She's trying to tell me. I know you want to tell me, love. I know, honey. I know. Because when they start throwing the cards out like this, family, oof. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit the camera. But I'm trying to get these cards. Look at all these cards they throwing out. Fire. I know when they start throwing the cards out like that, family, it's a lot that they want to say. You know what I'm saying? And I feel her energy is very strong. So, Kalisha, please, one card at a time, hon, okay? We're going to get it out. We're going to get your story out. Trust me, all right? Tell me about the suicide in the history. Tell me about the suicide in the history, love. The suicide in the history. Tell me about the suicide in the history. Yeah, so she was scared, okay, in the bag. She felt like she was going to get harmed and hurt, okay? Dealing with this, okay? So she was already scared, but she was still causing herself harm, okay? She was already scared, okay? Because the suicide means not only, yes, it can mean you committed suicide, but I don't feel that's the energy that's here. I feel like this also card means causing yourself harm by doing something that you may not have been doing, what you had a history of, and you were scared. Okay, maybe even scared to stop dealing with this person you had history with. See, the history and the hustler is the same energy, and so is the suicide and the scared. You see that? It's the same energy. So this is what she was feeling. Okay, family? All right, so scared is on top of that. Let's look at food and watching. Why is food and watching here, Kalisha? Food and watching. Why is food and watching here? Kalisha Madden. Speak through the divination of the cards, love. She had a pretty style. She's a pretty girl. She had 6 kids. Food and watching. Celebration. So somebody is in celebration that, well, she was celebrating with someone as well that same week. Okay? That same week or within days, she may have been celebrating something with this person, or somebody was celebrating what had happened. Okay? She may have been celebrating during somebody giving her something and somebody was watching. But there is a three of cups here, which is definitely about not only her celebrating and celebrating with whoever these people was that she went with, but 3 of cups is a card of infidelity. So 3 is a crowd when you're celebrating something, especially when you have this. Okay? And conflict already. All right? Because then that brings this, the revenge, okay? So, in the mind games. So, there's many things here. Now, we're going to clarify the cards that flew out. The first one was the medicine that flew out. Why is medicine here, Kalisha? Kalisha Madden. Show us and tell us why is medicine here in reference to where you are, what happened to you. Medicine. Why is that here? Oath. Somebody took a commitment and an oath. Okay, so there's some type of technology that has to do with her situation. Somebody needed help. Okay, and it also needed help in reference of this making a promise. Taking an oath is verbal or written commitment. Okay, somebody needed help. And it also goes back to somebody maybe even needing medicine, because we do have legal drugs that came out on the grape in the lesson. So somebody needed help, okay? And that's what we have for that. That could be her or that could be somebody else. Now we got the coven. The coven is about the darkness sent, somebody given or intentional dark magic use, voodoo, hoodoo, havoc, okay? Witches and warlocks she could have been dealing with, okay? Clarity on that for us, Kalisha. Why is the coven here? All right? Coven for where you are, a reward and prize. Wow. Yes, by a secret society. So she might have got mixed. See, this is a learning experience for those out there that may be messing with hustlers, right? And you may be messing with hustlers and stuff for a very long period of time. You may even have a history with dealing with this person. But all in all, you causing yourself harm because you scared because now you're figuring out that this hustler, okay, wife, that you have conflict or she has conflict with you, or maybe even communicated to you that she was going to do something to you and may have even gotten a prize or even asked a coven of witches and rewarded them to do something to you. See, because a coven is a group of witches or warlocks. See, you done ran up on something that you done walked into, and then somebody has paid somebody or given somebody a reward to have something harm you. Okay? That's what this card is about. So they're in a secret society of things. Okay? And yeah, hustler. Clarity on the hustler. What happened to you, Kalisha Madden? What happened to you, Kalisha Madden? Hustler, with this hustler. What happened to you, Kalisha, with the... Yeah, here's the premeditated again. So it was planned with this hustler. This hustler planned it. Well, actually, it's planned around this hustler. I feel like with the powers that be, I feel like this doesn't mean the actual elite powers to be. I feel like, although it could, but what I do feel like it has to do with this. The coven, okay? That is a secret society of people that do things spiritually to you, okay? That are paid and rewarded. There's a prize given for this darkness to be sent your way in some type of dark magic, okay? And somebody premeditated this, okay, because of this hustler. See, this hustler that she was dealing with, there was something premeditated. Somebody already planned on doing this because of this person. Okay, this was planned. Okay, and then they celebrated. Why? After they watched. Okay, they were watching. Okay, but they wanted you to learn some lessons within this situation. Okay, this happened within days and a week because of some respect. See, somebody taught her some lessons and respect. Look at the same energy, family. This is what this boils down to. And it goes back to the mind games. See, somebody's playing mind games and the revenge that was given. Okay, because of this. Let's pull some from this deck and then I'll wrap it up. But it definitely looks like what I'm seeing. Clarity on the mind games and the revenge. Yeah, look at the gift and the package. Yeah, she could be concealed or hidden in some type of woods. But here's somebody felt either she was a snake or somebody was a snake, but there was a gift. So somebody wanted to give her revenge behind some things that was given to her. Okay. Clarity on the air. Danger, that brought danger. Yes, that's the hidden and missing key to the puzzle. Okay, she was already in danger in reference of the air, which is the conflict that has been confirmed over here with this wife card. Okay, she was already in danger because of that, ancestors are saying. Okay, Kalisha Madden. What happened with Kalisha Madden, ancestors? Show me what happened with Kalisha Madden. Thank you, ancestors. Okay. Here's the fight and the fuss and the optical illusion. Here's the no, the wrong way. So somebody or something went the wrong way. Okay. So when I see that, that definitely lets me know that there was some things that went the wrong way. It was like, maybe she was used to going with this person or doing something with this person, and that day it went the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It's like You decide to, you know, I'm going to go with this person because I have a history with them. I have a history of going with this person. And then it's like that day that you decide that you're going to go with that person that you have a history with, things go left because this person is like, no, now I want revenge because you are no longer respecting, you know, here's the respect. You're no longer respecting and you're deviating away from, you're triggering me. And so now some people don't go after you physically, family. They go after you like this. You see? Yeah. Clarity on the wife. Woo, that flew out. Yeah, desert mirage in reverse and mental health. So she was dealing with somebody who pretty much, you know, at this point, they probably felt like they reality was clarified for them. That's what this card means in reverse. The illusion was dispelled. Truth was visible for them. Deception was cleared with this person. That's what this card means. So this person, they realized what was going on. See, it was no longer a false perception. It was reality to them at that point. So that put her in danger. The Coven and the Prize for Kalisha Madden. The Coven and the Prize. Yeah. So they had a meeting. Here's the meeting with the covens, with the witches and the warlocks, allegedly, right? Somebody didn't travel somewhere or didn't, and it was private property, something about private property and no travel in reverse. So when I see the travel in reverse, let me go and see what the ancestors is trying to tell us about that. The travel in reverse is definitely, yeah, it's about a journey prevented, okay? Movement restricted, okay? A change blocked, a transit disrupted. So somebody with this, right? They stopped her from doing something. That private property, let's see what that's trying to tell us about what happened, okay? The private property is personal ownership, restricted access, a protected space. So there was something about her being restricted. That's probably when they got her where they wanted her to be. And look at the meeting of people, right? Clarity in reference to what happened. Yes, this is self-sabotage, right? And a plot twist to everything, okay? Clarity on the watching and the history and so forth. The history and the suicide. And for Kalisha Madden. There's the neighborhood again. Yeah, and she had an emergency medical condition. There was a change in plans. She was kidnapped and hand-tied. Okay, this was strategic, like I thought. Somebody is connected to some type of Masonic, demonic energy. This is close within the close neighborhood or close to her because I have neighbor here and here's neighborhood. So somebody in close proximity to her may have even taken her to a neighborhood somewhere that she's known about or been before. But there was definitely a change in plans. And this was something planned out because it was a strategy. Somebody made their chess moves, okay? And there was emergency medical emergency needed for Kalisha. But this was about greed and something about family. And here's the female sticking out. So like I said, the female behind this situation, which is somebody's wife over here, connected to somebody's family, and greed came out. Okay, we'll pull a little bit more from here in the outcome message. Kalisha Madden. What happened to Kalisha Madden? Yeah, and somebody is higher up in the elite. This is a sad and emotional situation, but it was unavoidable. Okay, and like I said, there's the communication. See, there was some type of communication. That's that air. Okay, with somebody's wife. Here's the Republican. So somebody in higher up, maybe even a political figure that she was dealing with. What Kalisha Madden? What else, ancestors? Can you tell us about Kalisha Madden? What happened to Kalisha Madden? Yeah, somebody got rid of her. Kalisha Madden. Yeah, somebody is not regretful of what happened. Okay, that's what I'm gonna take. This is a hidden network. Like I said, this happened with somebody underground, family, and you know people probably know about this because they got it wrong is in reverse. Somebody doesn't regret this because it's in reverse. It's a secret group of people, a secret program in this whole situation. It's a lot here. Propaganda in reverse. So this is not fake news. A secret weapon is here. And then I also have trash. So someone got rid of her. Okay. She could also be in the trash. Allegedly, all for entertainment purposes only. We hope not. Okay. All right, let's pull the outcome card. But this is a lot that's here. You guys have to really break down all the messages. It's a lot. Kalisha, Madden, ancestors. Is Kalisha Madden is she no longer alive? Is Kalisha Madden alive, ancestors? Thank you for oh, that's a lot. Here's the money. Here's the 8 of Wands, the 7 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so and the Ace of Cups here. So what it looks like to me is this was all about some type of money that was put up against her in some shape, form, or fashion. Okay, this is also the 8 of Wands. So I feel like 8 different situations, 8 different people may have been putting money. I mean, they may have been paid money in this coven to come up against her. See, because remember, it was the reward and the prize, and somebody was being strategic. I feel like these are all the 8 people that were trying to come up against her. This was about the business. This is about what she did, okay? Somebody was worried, you know what I'm saying, of what they were investing into her, or somebody invested money into her that was harming their family, the happy family that they had. So they waited to see how it was going to turn out. This person is the Queen of Swords, which is definitely somebody who was strategic, someone who was watching, right? But not only that, they know and they have a book of things. I don't know why they're saying a book of spells. They have a book of spells and things that, or a book of people who they can contact to handle things for them as well in conflict. Okay, so that goes back because the Queen of Swords is nothing to play with. And once again, we got the black and white floors. I don't know why I'm hearing Masonic energy. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So on the bottom is the Ace of Cups. So this is about somebody that was definitely in love, okay, some type of love situation. Here's the Knight of Cups, okay, so it's definitely or the King of Cups, so it's definitely a male that's attached to this that would have relations with her, okay. This male may have had a family, 2 kids, okay, and a wife. That's what we've seen over there. Is Kalisha Madden still alive, ancestors? Show me the cards. Is she still alive? Thank you, ancestors. No. Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles. This is about, if you see, that's also a voodoo doll. So you can actually see what was used when I talked about what was over here. So this is dark magic once again, okay? And we got that multiple times out of the deck, okay? The 4 of Coins is about somebody deciding to, well, most definitely in this book, which I really love this book. I mean, this deck. I don't know why I said book, but I was getting the book. But I want to read to you guys exactly what it's trying to tell you guys with that. But the 4 of Pentacles, and this is the puppet, right? It's actually a voodoo doll, but it's about you know, possession, stability, control, determine, concentrate. So basically getting control over you. All right, so this Queen of Swords got control over her, okay, because of the respect that in somebody's family. We have family here twice. See, this was about somebody's family, her coming up against somebody's family, okay, and they weren't going forward. So they spiritually went after her. This 8 of Wands, okay, and they put big money up on it, okay. And here's the 9 of Wands. So that's what I have in reference of Kalisha Madden. All right. I will tap back into this energy if she is not found. Which I'm sure, it's been a while now, but I will look back at her case again because I want to make sure that this is what we're seeing and what I'm getting, you know, although the ancestors, you know, they kick out things that can't be proven right now, but will be proven later on. So I have to say allegedly for entertainment purposes only. At this time, this is all non-factual. I have no clue, none of these people. I'm just telling you what's coming out in the cards, all right? And with the ancestors. Much love to you. Hit the like button, and I will see you guys soon. Peace, family. Peace.